This is Collinwood as it looked in the year 1897. A grave emergency in the present has caused Barnabas Collins to go into the past, back to a time when intrigue and terror filled the lives of all who lived on the Collins estate. And there, in that time, Barnabas has begun to relive old experiences and to suffer the tortures of an old enemy.
But the original Barnabas Collins must have been distraught when Josette died.
He never got over the shock.
But after Josette died...
Oh, he would never accept that. He had to believe that he would see her again someday. It's the only way he could go on living. Please play it again.
Of course. Such a pretty neck. Such a fragile little neck. Seems almost a shame to hurt it, doesn't it?
What's the matter?
I don't know. I need fresh air. Oh.
Rachel! Rachel!
Widow's Hill. Widow's Hill. No, please don't let that happen again.
Widow's Hill. Josette. Oh, no. No. Josette. It can't be. It isn't possible. Rachel, can you speak to me?
I can't breathe. You forget so easily, Barnabas. You may love anyone you wish. But no one may love you. No one may even have the chance to love you.
Who are you? And what are you doing here?
Are you feeling better? No, don't try to speak. Can you stand up? Let me take you to the sofa.
You always enter rooms without knocking?
If it's part of my job, yes.
Your job?
Yes, I oversee this estate, and I happened to be passing this cottage and saw a light. This place is not supposed to be occupied.
Oh, I see. You mean I'm trespassing?
Well, you are, unless the family knows you're here.
Well, I don't think the whole family knows I'm here.
Oh, some part of the family knows you're here.
That's right.
And who's that?
Well, why do you want to know?
Because it's part of my job to keep strangers off this estate.
Well, I'm not a stranger.
You are until I find out who brought you here.
No one brought me here. Quentin Collins asked me to meet him here.
Well, I might have known.
Why do you say that?
Because no other member of the Collins family would arrange a meeting here.
Do you know Quentin well?
Too well.
Tell me about him.
You're better off not knowing.
Why?
Because, miss, he's no good for you or any other woman.
I see. Then you don't like him very well, do you?
He ruins everything he touches.
Aren't you taking a chance talking like this about him in front of me? How do you know I won't tell him what you've said?
Well, you can tell him anything you'd like. Nothing would please me more.
Oh. I see.
You know, I don't think you're going to tell him.
You don't know me. You don't know what I'm like.
I think you're very nice. And if you'd take my advice, you'd leave this place and never come back.
Now, I'm really very flattered. I appreciate your concern.
But you're going to stay.
I really must. I make a habit of keeping my word.
Okay. You're a big girl. And you, I guess, know what you're doing. Miss, you never told me your name.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
No.
If I do come back here after tomorrow night, you'll know who I am soon enough. And if I don't, it doesn't make any difference, does it?
No, I suppose it doesn't.
But if we do see each other again, I think we're going to become good friends. Good night.
Did that help?
Yes, thank you.
Now, perhaps you can tell me what happened.
I don't know. Nothing like this has ever happened to me before.
Then tell me what you meant by what you said to me.
What I said.
Well, you kept murmuring something about Widow's Hill.
Widow's Hill? I don't even know what that is.
Well, that is a place that's not far from here. It overlooks the ocean.
But how could I have been talking about something that I've never even heard of?
Well, perhaps you overheard someone in the house mention it.
No. No, I don't remember hearing it. What else did I say? No, please, tell me.
Oh, nothing else. You just kept murmuring Widow's Hill, like, time and again, till you couldn't say any more.
None of this makes any sense. For a while there, I felt I was dying, and then suddenly I was all right again. What could have caused it?
I don't know.
There must be something wrong with me.
No, I don't believe that.
Oh, there has to be. That's the only answer. Oh, Mr. Collins, I'm so frightened.
What is the meaning of this?
Oh, Mr. Collins.
Miss Drummond, will you kindly explain yourself?
I can, Cousin Edward. Miss Drummond had suffered from a shock.
Shock? What are you talking about?
Just a few moments ago, she had a choking sensation, and then she fainted.
Fainted? What caused you to faint, Miss Drummond?
I don't know.
Well, perhaps we had better call a doctor right away.
No,
But it may happen again.
no, I'm sure it wouldn't.
Well, you've no way of knowing. I think perhaps we should.
No, Mr. Collins, please. I feel fine now, and I'm sure it was nothing serious. I've always been in perfect health.
Miss Drummond, is there some reason that you would rather not see a doctor?
No, please, of course not. I'm sure that what happened to me was the cause of fatigue and anxiety over my work.
Are you unhappy about your work?
Oh, no.
As a matter of fact, Cousin Edward, she was just telling me that she's become very fond of your two children.
I see. Well, I'm very glad to hear it. I trust that you haven't been treated unkindly since you've been here.
Oh, no, on the contrary. Everyone has been most considerate and helpful. Really, Mr. Collins, I feel fine now, believe me. I'm not finished with you yet. This is only the first of many experiences. And each of them will seem very mysterious to you. but not to Barnabas. For he has lived through it all before. And he will know soon enough what is happening. Rachel. Rachel, you will leave Collinwood now. You will not tell anyone where you are going. You will walk through the woods to the cottage door. And you will enter that door. Now. Leave Collinwood now.
Mr. Collins, please
Yes.
excuse me.
Why, certainly.
I'd like to go to the terrace for some fresh air.
May I go with you?
No, I'll be quite all right. I'll only be on the terrace for a few minutes, and then I'll go to my room. Thank you, Mr. Collins.
Yes. Oh. The music box?
Yes, I brought it to her as a gift. Perhaps what happened to her was my fault.
What makes you say that?
Well, you see, I was telling her the legend of this music box. It isn't a very pleasant story. I think I might have frightened her.
You can hear me now, and you know you must obey me. Come to the edge of the woods, and then follow the path to the cottage.
Your legend hardly sounds likely enough to frighten a young lady into fainting. It must be something else.
Perhaps it was. Tell me, Cousin Edward, what do you know of her background?
Well, I did the usual amount of investigation before I hired her. She's well educated, her references are quite good, and she managed herself nicely when I interviewed her.
And beyond that?
Beyond what?
Well, I mean her earlier background, her childhood and her family.
Oh, well, I hardly think her fainting tonight has anything to do with all that.
No, I suppose not. Tell me, Cousin Edward, there's something I've been very curious about.
What?
Is your wife deceased?
What made you ask that?
Well, I was bound to ask it sooner or later. After all, I have met the rest of the family, all but your daughter and her mother.
I'm afraid I've misjudged you, cousin.
What do you mean?
I had thought you to be a man shrewd enough to discern which subjects we were to discuss and which we wouldn't.
If I've offended you, I'm sorry.
I'm not offended, only a bit disappointed. My wife is not dead. She is away. She is going to stay away. I think that tells you all you need to know.
I didn't need to know even that much. I assure you that the subject won't be brought up again.
Thank you.
I've been waiting for you. Josette.
My name is Rachel.
So it is. But you will be Josette whenever I will it.
Who are you?
Someone you will never know, really.
I want to return to Collinwood.
No. The night is not nearly over, and I'm not finished yet.
Finished with what?
With Barnabas.
But what do you want with me?
I'm Unfortunately for you, there must be a pawn in this cruel game.
I don't understand.
It's not necessary for you to understand. Just look at me. Look into my eyes. You will do everything I ask you to do. Is that clear?
Yes.
And you will not remember any of it. You went outside to get some air. And after that, you remember nothing.
I understand.
You sure you won't have a glass of sherry?
Yes, thank you. It's getting late, and I'd better get back to the old house.
Oh, well, I'll see you to the door. Oh, good evening, Wilkins.
Good evening, sir.
This is my cousin Barnabas from England. He'll be staying with us for a while. Oh, if you need any help of any kind, Wilkins is the man to see. He looks after the entire property. Did you complete your rounds?
Yes, sir, I did. If I might have a word with you,
Is anything wrong?
well, there might be...
Oh, it's all right, Wilkins. You may speak in front of my cousin.
Yes, sir, very well. As I passed the cottage, I saw a light. When I investigated, I found a young lady.
Well, who was she?
I asked her name, but she wouldn't tell me.
Did you find out what she was doing there?
I asked, but,
Did it
Yes,
have
sir, I
anything
did.
to do?
She said that she was here to meet your brother.
My brother Quentin?
Yes, sir.
He's lucky enough to remain on the property himself. And now I suppose he wants to be put off with these people who he attracted to.
Sir, I have to say that she seemed rather respectable.
Well, indeed. I find it hard to believe that Quentin is developing a taste for respectable women. How did she look?
She was very pretty. She had long blonde hair, and the main thing about her was her eyes.
What about her eyes?
They were very large and very blue. I've never seen eyes like those before.
You seem to be very impressed with this young woman.
Yes. Yes, I guess I was.
She may have been the most innocent-looking creature in the world, but you may take my word for it. If she was here to meet my brother Quentin, she was anything but innocent.
Well, I'll leave you to deal with the indiscretions of your brother. I'm sure they're none of my business. Good night, Edward.
Good night. If you encounter this woman again, you will tell her that she is not welcome on Collins' property. In the meantime, I will speak to Quentin and tell him to meet his women off the estate.
Yes, sir.
Good night, Wilkins.
Good night, sir.